Good time of day, folks. This is Sharky Produver and welcome to the analysis video. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the refugee crisis, but more specifically about a person who became infamous by her actions during the refugee crisis. I'm talking about Petra Laszlo, the ex-N1TV camera woman. Footages of her tripping 3 people, refugees, one of them a young girl, and a father of an 8-year-old child who fell on the ground with a baby, spread around internet. After the outraged reaction of the society, Petra Laszlo was fired from her job and is now trying to escape Hungary, where she believes to be threatened as well as her family members. As the society looks at this woman as not a nice person, I'll try to use a neutral terminology here, the society sees her as a not such a nice person, saying that she tripped a girl and a father with an 8-year-old boy who were just refugees trying to escape a war zone, and none of them deserved to be treated like this. Is she truly a demon people picture her as, or not? In this video, I will analyze all the arguments for, all the arguments against, and I will try to analyze it from all the different perspectives. Let's start with the pro. Why would people think that this person is not a nice, law-abiding bachelor? There are several reasons. First of all, we're talking about refugees who are forced to flee their homes, their beloved ones, their families, their motherland, because of a conflict. Because they are afraid for their lives, because they cannot live in peace and harmony as they used to do before. These people have to migrate all the way from Afghanistan, Syria and several other lands into Europe for a chance of a better life. Treating them like this does not give a good image of Europe and its citizens, as well as it doesn't give a warm welcome to those people who are in need of basic human needs such as shelter, food, and human rights. Secondly, the girl and the 8-year-old boy are children who do not deserve to be kicked around, and most importantly, they do not deserve to be in the war zone, to be on a run. They should be at school, they should be with their friends, they should not be experiencing such horrible things as they're experiencing now. Therefore, Petra Laszlo's actions in this case can be seen as truly inhumane, because what did those people ever do to her? Lastly, well, she was stripping them, which is physical contact, which is what many people consider as violence. And you do not kick people around in normal situations, and especially you don't kick them around in critical situations like this, when, as I said before, those people did nothing to Petra, personal and in general. Having said all that, let's see at the other side of a medal. Sorry, I had to do it. Well, I was researching all of this wonderful information when one interesting thing popped up. Petra Laszlo wrote an apology. I'm about to read out this apology to you. Before I do so, let me tell you one thing. I do not speak Hungarian. What I read to you right now, what I am about to read to you right now, is a translation of an original text. This means you should not, you must not, you should not, you are not allowed to take what I'm about to say as 100% truth. If you actually are able to find the correct and full translation of your letter, I'll be truly grateful. Having said that, I sincerely regret what happened. Just now, I was able to collect myself enough to write about it. In fact, I am in shock over the situation. The camera was shooting. Hundreds of migrants broke through the police cordon. One of them rushed to me and I was scared. Then something snapped in me. I just thought that I was attacked and I have to protect myself. It's hard to make good decisions at a time when people are in panic and hundreds of people are rushing to you. At this moment, I tried and I failed. I'm truly sorry for what happened, and as a mother, I have a separate regret that fate pointed a child in my way. I did not even notice her. As you can see in the images, I panicked, and I do sincerely regret my actions, and I take responsibility for it. I am not a heartless, racist, children-kicking camera woman. I do not deserve the political witch hunts against me, nor the smears or the death threats. I am just an unemployed mother of small children who made a bad decision. I am truly sorry. Laszlo, Petra. Now, what do we see there? We see an apology. Recently I was at Facebook and I saw an interesting post. I don't remember the exact wording of it, but it went like that. Take a plate. Now break it. Now say I am sorry. Did the plate fix itself? Do you understand now? Honestly, I do not know what was the meaning, like the true meaning behind the post, but the way I see it is that the apology is not meant to fix problems. I agree with this part of the statement. Saying I'm sorry will not make the plate stick together, as it never fell down. Saying I'm sorry will not make the trip or accident cancel out, or be forgotten, or just reverse back in time. Bloody hell! Saying I'm sorry will not solve the refugee crisis as it never existed. So why do we apologize then? Well, we do not apologize to fix things. That is what you understand. You must understand. When I say I'm sorry, I do not want to fix something. When I say I'm sorry, I want to show that I understand the wrongness of my actions. And that I am, 1, ready to face responsibility, ready to face the consequence of my actions. And 2, that I'm ready to fix them. I'm not fixing them, I'm ready to fix them. There is a difference not many see or understand, but that is important. Petra Laszlo apologized for her actions. She wanted to show that she understands that her actions were wrong. She wants to show that she is ready to face the consequence, and I must say she faced them quite too much. Does this cancel out her act? Not really. It still happens. Nothing cancels out the past. But it shows that she is not indeed, as she says, a heartless, racist, children-kicking camera woman. That she is indeed a caring person who sees the wrongness of her doings and is ready to show it and maybe ready to correct it. That's the first part. The second part that I found quite interesting to look into is that the person she kicked, and his name is Osama Abdul Mohsen. I found out a few sources that claim that this person is not, well, just a refugee, if you could say that he is just or not just a refugee. This person is a member, or was a member, of a terrorist organization linked to Al-Qaeda. He actually is a member of Al-Nusra terror group. Now that turns the things on quite a different angle now, doesn't it? He actually was blamed to participate in Al-Nusra and in fact fled his home place in fear of facing consequences of his actions. Right now, he got a job in Spain as a football coach. Now, while I personally think that that's all nice and good for him, I mean, why are we ready to condemn organizations such as Al-Qaeda, or we are ready to label all Islam as a radical religion, but we are so willing to close our eyes on a fact that a person who was kicked, okay, he was kicked, that is true, but he is or was a member of a terrorist group. Why didn't anyone look at this at that time? It is important, after all, for security of quite many people. The third argument, and that what many people said in the comment section, is that, well, on the video footage it's clearly seen that Osama Abdul was running away from the policeman who tried to hold him. Petra Laszlo, well, basically tripped him over. Now, many people use the term physical abuse, but I do not think that's what happened there. Let me show you it on a very simplistic example. Imagine that fist is just moving to this direction and I want to stop it. There are two ways I can stop it with. Well, actually three, but I will show you two because it's 2D. The first way is doing this. Just putting a hand in its direction so the fist cannot go any further than it went. And the second way is doing this. Pushing it away. That second is physical contact. That is aggressive physical contact, to be precise. That's not what Petra Laszlo did. She did not kick this person, she did not trample him, she did not punch him. She literally put her leg in his way so he could fall over so the police could capture him. Yes, many will say that it's none of your business to do with the people who are running away from the police. But hell, if you would see a person running away from a police officer, would you try to stop him? I'm not saying beat him to ground, I'm not saying trample him, I'm saying stop him. Go into the person's way, put a hand, triple over. That is not physical violence, isn't it? I might be wrong here. If I'm wrong, please say this in the comment sections. So basically, what we end up with is that this woman has to leave her country with her family, and she plans to move to Russia. And she basically is leaving her country because she cannot live in it, because she's afraid of the things that will happen to her family. She did receive death threats, according to her, smears and offenses, and she was, well, criticized in the papers. Now, let me tell you something. Nowadays, people are outraged that hundreds of thousands of refugees have to flee their homeland because they're afraid for their lives, because they cannot live there, because they cannot express their opinion, because they do not have the basic human rights. And people are outraged about this. But now a woman with her family has to leave her country. Granted, the actions she did are not exactly pure innocence, but she has to leave her country because she is not safe there. She is afraid for her life and life of her family, because she could not express her opinions in there. And yet everybody is ganging up on her, condemning her and demonizing her? Ladies and gentlemen, that's hypocrisy. I said that she cannot express her opinions. Allow me to elaborate. Petra Laszlo wanted to sue Facebook and the refugee she tripped with the kid. The reason she wanted to sue Facebook was because Facebook was removing groups that were supporting her and allowing the groups that threatened her life to remain. In the 21st century where, at least in Europe, we try to promote democracy, closing or shutting down other people's opinions in favor of the other group, is it fair? Is it justifiable? Maybe the things that people were saying that were supporting Petra Laszlo weren't entirely politically correct. Maybe they were offensive. But why is the second group that is clearly said to be offensive to Petra Laszlo not closed down? This makes no sense, at least to me. If you want this, either close all groups or allow both of them to happen, because we are free to express our own wishes, or words, or opinions. Why did Facebook shut down one side while letting the other to grow? It gives confidence to this side, because now they are free to criticize, to insult, to threaten this woman, although when we look at it, it was basically a person who panicked into a stressful situation and did the wrong thing. We all do the wrong things occasionally. Does it give people a reason to criticize us or to demonize us? It doesn't. If we apologize, if we show that we understand what we did wrong and we are ready to correct our mistakes and face the consequence of our actions. Petra Laszlo apologized. She clearly did. Why is she still demonized? Why are people so outraged towards her, even though we see that the person she tripped is supposedly a member of a terrorist organization that caused chaos in those lands in the first place? Why is she demonized when all she did was to help the police force and she didn't even do anything that was physically violent in the description of it? Why is she being demonized if, as I said, she made a bad decision and she openly admitted it? I do not understand. Hopefully, well, we will be able to have a chat in the comment section, because I do look forward to the conversation, because I must say that I'm afraid I did not look at the whole situation completely. As I said, my translation of your letter is not exactly correct. As I said, I do not speak Hungarian, and I wasn't there in the first place, and I'm not a telepath. I cannot tell you exactly what happens. But what I can do is express what I think about the situation, using as many arguments pro and against as possible, trying to make the picture in your head. It is up to you to agree with me or disagree, and I won't mind if you don't disagree with me. In fact, I would like if you criticize me and tell me what I did wrong. So in conclusion, Petra Laszlo did trip over 3 people, one of them a child and the other a father of an 8-year-old son. She did it because she panicked in a critical situation and made the wrong choice. She apologized for it. Unfortunately, people's reaction to this action were outrageous and to an extent quite correct. Unfortunately, the Facebook did not do the right decision and closed one group supporting her while allowing groups that were against her to grow up. Due to this, Petra now has to leave the country because she's afraid of her life and for the life of her family. As you might have noticed, I did not talk about her actions of suing the Osama. Just a moment. Yes, Osama Abdul. I keep on forgetting the names, I'm sorry. I did not talk about her actions to sue Osama Abdul. What she says about him is that he changed his testimony while being questioned. First he said he was being chased by the police, but later he said that he was, well, from what I understood, being tripped over by her. The reason I didn't want to talk about this is because I do not possess enough information for this conversation. I do honestly think that, well, suing him is kind of a stupid thing to do, because yes, he was tripped over, yes, he was being chased by the police, and it's kind of a complicated thing. And after all, he is escaping the war zone. Yes, he might be a member of a terrorist group, but he might not, he might have quitted. Who knows? The reason I don't want to talk about this is because it's a very complicated case, and I personally don't possess enough information about it to make a clear statement. So I'm gonna omit this part. Well, I hope that this video was helpful to all of you out there. If you have any questions against me, feel free to ask. This was Sharky Pro Diver, and see you next time.